Today you're going to get to see how I design a Notion cover image in Adobe Illustrator to completely transform my Notion page. Hey, what's up guys? If you're new here, my name is Andrew. I've been a photographer and a designer for the last 10 years. And sometimes I make videos here and there to share with people, but I've never really done it professionally. And so this is kind of my attempt to get into YouTube, document what I know, share with you what I know. Let's get into it. To get started, we're going to jump into Adobe Illustrator, create a new file. We'll just call this Notion. What we're going to do is we're going to go to pixels. We're going to do one artboard. It's going to be 2000 pixels by 533 pixels. And we're going to hit create. So what we're going to do here is we're going to create our safe area. So we know anything in the center of the safe area, no matter how it gets shrunk, left and right or vertically, it's always going to be in focus and in the center of the image. And then anything outside of that can just kind of be abstract, more artwork based, not necessarily that important, but just good to have as, to set the mood and set the vibe. So to do that, here's the first step. We're gonna go and just create a box. We're gonna click here in the middle of the screen here. It's gonna ask it for the dimensions. We're gonna do 800 pixels wide by 341 pixels tall. Hit OK. Okay, so we're gonna put this in the center of the artboard. So under my align panel here and centered. What I like to do is hit Command R on a Mac, Control R on a Windows, brings up our ruler. I'm gonna bring a guide out from the side here and just snap it to the edges of this box. And then what I'm gonna do is I can click on this box and I can just hit delete. So now whenever I move around the canvas, these four ruler guides are gonna tell me and make sure that my artwork that's important is inside the screen at all times. And it's not actually gonna affect my end result. So when I export this, the guides aren't visible, but I can rest assured that everything that needs to be in the center is. So I'm really a big fan of having the bottom portion of my artwork match the color of my workspace. So if I pull up Notion here, we got a white workspace and we want to copy this exact color. So I'm going to go and get my Pixar. I'm not really sure how to pronounce that. I'm going to create a new color and I'm just going to grab this color. You can see here it's FFFFF, which means it is pure white. It's always good to double check in case it's a slightly off-white color, but in this case, we're good to go. So I'm going to close that out, close this out. In Illustrator, we're going to go to our paintbrush tool. We're going to click and hold it, go to our pencil tool, and we're just going to draw something really basic. So let's just start with some waves, something classy. Go ahead and bring it around, make sure that circle appears so we can close our shape together. Perfect. Now that this pencil is really smooth, because if you double click the pencil icon, you can see that I've turned my smoothness all the way up. And so I'm going to hit OK on that. So the next step is to make sure that this piece at the bottom here is going to match the color of our Notion page, which we've already determined is pure white. So we're going to double click that, make sure it is white. And then just because I like to make sure my artwork is clean and tidy in my Illustrator project, I actually like to add a rectangle over the artboard itself. Make sure that it has a fill color in it. I'm going to hold shift and I'm going to select both pieces and ensuring that the rectangle that I just drew over my artboard is on top of whatever I'm trying to put in it. We're going to create something called a clipping mask. The simplest way to do that is to hold down Command or Control and then hit the number 7. While both are selected, it's going to create a clip group. And it's going to use this shape as a mask for the shape below it. And so now it's still here. And I can interact with it. I can change colors of it. And I'm just not viewing it outside of the artboard. It's just something I like to do to keep my workspace tidy. So I'm going to undo that. And now I'm going to create a backdrop for my artwork here. So let's just go ahead and give it something. And I'm just going to keep it black. Let's just add some text. Stay focused. Let's go ahead and change the color. I'm going to hit I on my keyboard and I'm going to click on this white object to copy the color there. I'm going to go ahead and make this a little bit larger. And let's choose some, I'm going to go ahead and make it in all caps. So I'll go to my properties panel and I'm going to choose more text options and all caps. And then instead of regular, I'm going to go, that's fine. I think I changed my mind. Let's go keep it lowercase. And yeah, I like that. Let's go ahead and make that centered text and center align. think I like the way that this these swoops and this circular, obviously the circle of the period, play up. I think maybe we can play up that concept by creating some, let's call them floaters. And I'm making this completely on the fly with you guys. That'll work. I'm going to take all of my circles here. I'm going to group them together by hitting Command G, drag that group into the clip group just to make sure it's all tidy and it's all clipped off. I'm going to actually take my guides, hold Shift, select them all, and then group those as well. We'll rename these as guides. So let's go ahead and save this. Let's go File, Export as Notion cover image. Perfect. I only have one artboard here, and there's no art expanding past the artboard, so there's no reason to check this box. But if I had art that was extended out of the artboard and I wanted to make sure that it actually got cropped off to the artboard, I would want to, check this box. But I don't need to do that, so I'm gonna go ahead and export. Hit OK, and it's gonna go ahead and save it to my desktop. Let's close this. Let's open up Notion, and let's go here, change cover image, upload a file from our desktop, Notion cover image, hit open. Now, one thing that's always kind of bugged me as a designer, being a designer, I'm very, I pay a lot of attention to detail. And so it always bugged me, the compression that Notion chooses for these images. The compression on it is just so strong that you always kind of get this less high quality graphic. But regardless of all of that, what I want to do is create another one of this for the flip version, right? So maybe you're working in dark mode and you're like, okay, well, that's great, but how do I make it look good on dark mode? And we're going to go to Appearance, Dark. And you can see here, it just does not look the same, right? So let's remake this using this background color. So step number one would be let's duplicate this. I'm going to hit Shift O and go to my artboard settings. And then you can hold Option or Alt if you're on Windows and drag the artboard down. I'm going to hold Shift as well to keep it in line. So now I'm holding Option and Shift, and then I'm going to let go. So to create a duplicate, now I'm just going to swap the colors. So we need to know what color to make this this path here. So let's go back into Notion, color picker. It's 19, 19, 19. So we're going to copy that, go to Illustrator. We're going to paste our hex code in there. That's our background color. Let's make it white. Let's also take our text and our circular objects here, and I'm gonna hit I on my keyboard, and I'm gonna make it the same gray color, 19, 19, 19. Perfect. So let's go File, Export, Export As, and we'll just call this dark mode. And use artboards in this case, and I only want to export artboard 2 and export. Perfect. Okay. Go back into Notion. We're going to do change cover, upload file, dark mode, open. I think it'd be really great if Notion could come up with an update to have a dedicated light mode image and a dedicated dark mode image. And the reason being is because if you go to the settings, and you go to settings and then appearance, it says use system setting. Well, sometimes my Mac is set to go to light mode during the day and night mode during the evenings. So if my Notion system is setting its color based off my computer's settings, then when I open it in the middle of the day, I'll have a white background and would want a white background image or cover image. And if I'm opening it at night, I'm gonna have a dark Notion setting, and I want to reflect that Notion image as well. So I would love to see Notion come out with an updated version to kind of accommodate that, but for now, it's fine. I just kind of keep mine in one setting all the time. I don't really let Notion decide based off my system setting. But regardless, that's kind of what we're looking for. So if we shrink this down, it's always looking good. Yeah, I like it. Okay, there you have it, guys. Thank you so much for joining me. I hope you guys learned something, got to kind of see about how I work in Illustrator and how my brain works, and essentially what it would take to design something in Notion or in Illustrator to put it on Notion. So the key things are having an artboard that is 2000 by 533 pixels and then having a safe area in the middle that is 800 pixels wide by 431 pixels tall. And as long as those two parameters are met, you really can't go wrong. So thanks again for watching, and I'll see you next time.